Because schools and districts are concerned about students struggling reading and writing skills, we built a literacy toolkit so you can engage students organically in the writing process and help them visually grapple with complex text. Let's take a look. Here's the landing page. On it, we learn how to navigate through the toolkit. Let's go ahead and click on Get Started. When we do, it takes us to the main menu. And from here, we have choices of what we want to do. Are we focusing on our pre-writing, or are we developing reading skills? As an FYI, in the beginner's tutorial, there's a video that walks students through this toolkit. And in the near future, we'll be releasing pre-writing examples, so students can see how other students have written narrative, informative, and argumentative writing. For now, let's go to the pre-writing toolkit. This jumps us to the writing canvas. Students often feel overwhelmed when they're faced with a writing task. It can be daunting and they wonder where to start, and many will jump straight to writing without much organization. But we know that the strength of our writing is the strength of our thinking. So here, students will be able to visually go through each step of the pre-writing process, from brainstorming to organization, ensuring that they have a solid plan before they write. In step 1, we put the idea, topic, or question in the middle. Here's an example. We're brainstorming the best feeling in the world, and we have finding a new favorite thing, finishing, having a little dog, try to lick your face. And from there, we've got other ideas. Students may fill this out independently, or as a class, the teacher may be collecting the ideas and mapping them out as students call them out. Also, alternatively, students could be working collaboratively in small groups or pairs to generate ideas. Then we move on to step 2, developing. We'll view the example here. It takes one of the concepts from our brainstorming and starts fleshing it out even more. This is a narrative example. We're focusing here on eating a completely shucked pomegranate, but we can do the same thing with informational and argumentative writing. We would just be adding facts and connecting them to their sources, because it's often challenging for students to elaborate on ideas. From here, we go to step 3, how to organize. Again, let's view an example. Essentially, what this has done is in Lucid, it's like we have digital index cards and we can easily move them around and play with the organization so that if we get feedback from a peer, because we can share this with our peers or our teacher, we can just drag and drop it and test out where that piece of evidence is the strongest. There's no erasing, no having to start over from scratch. It's much easier to actually be able to structure our thoughts here. This whole toolkit gives teachers a way to engage students authentically in the writing process. It's taking the best parts of pre-writing that experts use, breaking them down into manageable steps. And it also fosters autonomy and self-motivation for students because they choose how they start. And then as they visually work through their thinking, it's easier for educators to track their progress, but also identify where things are breaking down and give immediate help and assistance. Down below is where they start to do that on their own. So let's jump back to the main menu and switch over to reading strategies. Whether your students need help understanding what's happening with a character or what photosynthesis is, this toolkit includes strategies for that. We can start with fiction or nonfiction, or we could jump to where we are in the reading process, before, during, or after. Or we could simply view all the reading strategies at once. Let's take a look. Here we have some of the top reading strategies, one being previewing. If we click on that, we go to a document that tells us what previewing is, when we should use it, and how we use it, and then gives ready-made templates that educators can get to students immediately to start using as they engage with the text. Let's take a look at one, the thieves chart. This is something students can begin working on right away to help them visually organize the information that they're breaking down, they're trying to understand. Combined, This writing and reading practices will really strengthen deep literacy for students. We hope you enjoy.